The battlefield was silent, which was strange, because battles on Varen 6 never ended quietly. The planet was a wasteland of shattered stone spires and ancient ruins, scarred by centuries of war between humans and the Varen Dominion. I had been a field medic for 2 years, long enough to know that survivors rarely waited for help. If they could crawl, they crawled. If they could run, they ran. If they couldn't, well, most soldiers didn't survive long enough for someone like me to reach them. But that day, something felt different. I was trekking through a collapsed temple corridor, rubble crunching under my boots, trying to find my scattered squad after an orbital strike separated us. My visor's scanner flickered weakly, damaged, and could barely pick up life signs. But it pinged something ahead.
Faint. Weak. Dying.
I followed the signal until I stepped into an open courtyard, cracked stone illuminated by the pale violet sky. And there, half buried under collapsed pillars, lay a Varen, an alien warrior. Tall, silver-skinned, their armor cracked open, eyes glowing faintly like dying embers. She was a woman, one of their elite warriors, judging by the etched armor plates and the ceremonial forehead mark shaped like a crescent blade. Her legs were crushed under a slab of stone. One arm hung limp, and yet she was awake.
Barely.
Her gaze focused on me, and for a moment I froze. Varen warriors were known for ripping humans apart even with broken limbs. Even paralyzed, she was dangerous. But instead of hatred, she showed something else. Resignation. Human, she rasped, voice trembling like metal scraping. End it. My breath caught. She wasn't threatening me. She was begging. Her fingers twitched weakly toward the cracked hilt of her blade lying beside her, as if offering it. As if she wanted me to finish her in a warrior's death. I swallowed hard. I'm not killing you. Her glowing eyes narrowed. Mercy is not our way. Good thing I'm not Varen, I said softly. I knelt beside her, ignoring every instinct screaming danger. She stared at me in disbelief, like she'd never expected a human to come within arm's reach without trying to end her. You should not touch me, she whispered. My people will never forgive this. I'm not touching your people, I said. I'm touching you. Her breath hitched. Her hand trembled near mine, as if confused by the idea that someone, especially a human, wouldn't finish her. She looked away, jaw clenching in shame. You do not understand, she whispered. A warrior unable to stand is nothing. I rested my palm on the rubble and slowly extended my other hand toward her. Then take my hand, I said. Let me help you live. She stared at it like it was some impossible miracle. And then, hesitantly, painfully, she reached for it. Her fingers brushed mine.
Warm. Shaking.
In that moment, everything changed. Middle, a warrior's pride and a human stubbornness. It took nearly 20 minutes to dig her out without crushing her further. Every time I shifted a stone, she winced but never cried out. Varen warriors didn't show pain, or so they believed. Still, her breathing grew ragged. You are reckless, she muttered as I freed her torso. I get that a lot. You risk death for an enemy. You're not my enemy right now. You're just someone hurt. You stubborn human, she whispered with a strange softness.
Why?
I paused. Maybe because she looked abandoned. Maybe because no one, human or alien, deserved to die alone and terrified. Because someone should help you, I said quietly. And I'm here. Her lips parted slightly, like she didn't know how to respond. When I finally freed her legs, I saw the extent of the damage, spinal nerve severing, paralysis from the waist down. Varen biology was tough, but this kind of injury. She knew it. I knew it. You saved a broken warrior, she said flatly. A useless one. You're not useless. You do not know my people. Then tell me. She hesitated, then turned her head slightly. My name is Circa, she said. Commander of the Crescent Guard, 1st Division. Commander, huh? Guess I picked up someone important. Her eyes flickered in annoyance, but beneath it, something warm. You joke at a time like this, she murmured. Helps me focus. I improvised a spinal stabilizer from my medkit. When I touched the base of her neck to attach it, she inhaled sharply. That sensation, human hands, she stopped, cheeks darkening into a faint, purple glow. A Varen blush. You okay? I asked. Yes, she said too quickly, avoiding my gaze. Even injured, she still had pride. When she was stabilized, I positioned her arms around my shoulders. You are carrying me? She asked, stunned. Unless you want to grow legs back and walk. A breath escaped her that almost sounded like a laugh. Almost. I lifted her carefully. Her body was warm and unexpectedly light. She rested against me, tense at first, then slowly relaxed, head near my shoulder. No warrior has ever been held like this, she whispered. By a human. First time for everything. Yes, she murmured. First time. The danger rises. The dominion comes. As I carried Circa through the ruins, she grew more alert. Her ears, thin, curved membranes twitched. Stop, she whispered sharply. Put me down. Why? Dominion scouts. My people. They search for survivors. That's good, right? They can help you. She shook her head violently. No. A paralyzed commander is a disgrace. They will grant me the warrior's end you refuse to give. My stomach dropped. They'd kill you. It is our way. A commander who cannot rise is a shame to the guard. Well, I said firmly, they're not touching you. She stared at me in shock. Human, you defy an entire Dominion squad for me? Yes. Why? She breathed. I swallowed. Because she had trusted me enough to take my hand.
Because she didn't want to die.
Because she was more human than she realized. But I simply said, because I want you to live. Her hand gripped the front of my uniform, trembling. Footsteps echoed in the distance. Heavy, armored, coordinated. Circa whispered urgently, we must hide. But there was nowhere. We were exposed. So I made a choice. I moved behind a fallen archway and set her down gently, her back against the stone. I shielded her with my body. If they fire, she whispered, you will die. Then they'll have to go through me. Her eyes widened with something like horror and something like awe. No one has ever stood between me and danger, she whispered. Not even my own warriors. Well, I said, I'm not your warrior. Her voice softened. No. You are something else. Before she could say more, the Dominion squad arrived, 3 towering Baron soldiers, weapons drawn. Commander Circa, one shouted. You live. We will perform the final honor. I stepped forward. No one is killing her. They raised their weapons instantly. She is injured, the leader snapped. A warrior who cannot fight must die with dignity. She has more dignity than any of you, I said. Circa's breath caught. The warriors aimed. Circa tried to push me aside, but her arms shook uselessly. Human, she cried. Move. No. The warriors charged. I dove, grabbed a fallen shield generator from the rubble, and slammed my fist into the activation panel. A glowing barrier burst around us, deflecting their first volley. Circa gasped. You are insane. Maybe, I said, but it's working. The barrier was unstable. Seconds at best. You cannot win, she whispered. I don't need to win. I just need to get you out. I scooped her up again and sprinted through a collapsed wall as the barrier shattered behind us. The Dominion warriors followed, but the corridor was too narrow for their heavy armor. We escaped into the fog, ending a new path for both of us. Hours later, I reached a human outpost and demanded medical evac for Circa. The soldiers looked terrified, seeing an alien warrior in my arms, but I refused to let anyone touch her roughly. "She's with me," I said. Circa looked up at me, exhausted. "You risked exile, death, dishonor for a broken commander." "For you," I corrected. Her cheeks glowed purple again. At the field hospital, human doctors, hesitant but compassionate, began treating her. She grabbed my wrist before they moved her. "Human, what is your name?" "Evan." "Evan," she repeated softly, tasting the name like it meant something. "You offered me your hand when I asked for death. And I'll offer it again." I held out my hand. She stared at it, then intertwined her fingers with mine. Then, "Evan, I choose life." Her voice trembled. "And I choose you to walk beside me." For the first time since I found her, Circa smiled. A real, soft, breathtaking smile. And I knew that saving her hadn't been a mistake. It was the beginning of something bigger than either of us. Something worth surviving for.